of Change News.
A good day. This is Voice of Change Radio News. Thank you for joining us. I'm Amanda Kumalo. A look at the leading stories. Vice President Chiwenga salutes President on 80th birthday. Rastafarians back First Lady's educative programs. Nations endorse UN report on sanctions. Scala Chamisa rift widens as chaos rocks CCC. In business news, Zim Cement Market Growth Excites PPC. In regional and international news, IMF urges caution on economic reforms in sub-Saharan Africa. In sports, ZRP team wins overall SAPCO Games title. Getting into it, the news in detail. Vice President Constantino Chiwenga has described His Excellency President Emmerson Mnangagwa as the founding father of the new dispensation under the Second Republic, whose principled leadership is highly cherished. Speaking on the sidelines of the president's birthday, VP Chiwenga further said it is ideal for the nation to remain resolute in supporting his endeavors as the sole presidential candidate in the harmonized election of 2023. The Rastafarian community in Chitungwiza has thrown its weight behind First Lady Dr. Auxilia Mnangagwa's educative programs geared to end drug abuse, gender-based violence, and to promote self-sustainability and traditional dishes which have high medicinal and nutritional benefits. Members of the Rastafarian community recently participated in the First Lady's traditional meal cookout competition in Dema and showcased their traditional dishes, explaining to the First Lady how they prepare them and the ingredients they use, mainly natural herbs. The community said it subscribed to the First Lady's Nangagota program, which promotes moral integrity and the use of one's hands to earn a decent living. World nations have endorsed findings and recommendations contained in the final report of the United Nations Special Rapporteur on the negative impact of unilateral coercive measures on the enjoyment of human rights, calling for the unconditional removal of the punitive measures. The report was presented to the United Nations Human Rights Council in Geneva, Switzerland on Wednesday by Professor Alena Dohan, the United Nations Special Rapporteur who visited Zimbabwe on a fact-finding mission in October last year. In a related development, the United States has delisted 11 deceased individuals from the Specially Designated Nationals (SDN) list based on a determination they no longer warrant inclusion on the SDN list. However, Zimbabweans have bemoaned the hypocrisy of United States and its allies as removal of sanctions is not a sincere gesture at all. The rift between CCC leader Nelson Chamisa and his interim Secretary General Charlton Wende has widened. Wende is accusing Chamisa of exploiting self-governing tenets that guide their party since he wants to run the party single-handedly. It is alleged that Chamisa told Wende to form his own party if he feels undermined. Meanwhile, in a twist of events, Job Scala's appointment of Freddy Masarirevu as his personal spokesperson is said to have been triggered by a growing rift with Chamisa. Scala believes that the party has abandoned him and Chamisa is actually discouraging officials from standing by him. Chamisa believes Scala is part of a cabal along with BT and Wende which wants to sabotage him. A look at what is happening beyond our borders. The International Monetary Fund has called on governments in sub-Saharan Africa to be cautious about macroeconomic reforms as famine spreads in a region badly affected by the aftermath of COVID-19 and the war in Ukraine. In a report, the IMF says addressing the lack of resilience to climate change and the resulting chronic food insecurity will require careful prioritization of policies. In business news, Portland Cement (PPC) says the Zimbabwe cement market has continued to show strong growth on the back of individual residential housing construction and government-funded infrastructure development projects. Under the National Development Strategy 1 (NDS1), the government has prioritized infrastructure development, investing in projects such as road and dam construction, as well as national housing projects as part of improving the living standards of citizens and rebuilding the economy. Moving on to the world of sports, the Zimbabwe Republic Police has for the 60th time in a row won the overall trophy of the Southern Africa Regional Police Chiefs Cooperation Organization's SAPCO Games after scooping a total of 77 medals. Since 2009, the Zimbabwean force has been winning the overall trophy in all the editions of the SAPCO Games, which are held after every 2 years among member states. Of the 77 medals, 24 were gold, 34 silver, and 19 bronze medals. The team finished with 240 points. That ends this news bulletin.
Voice of Change News.